Hello and welcome to the Pederscope. It is Fabulous Friday here on the Pederscope. Let's give a shout out. Woohoo! Move around a little bit, shake it up, rejoice, have fun. It's a great day. It's Fabulous Friday. I am your host, Steve Pederson, for the Pederscope. We're talking about keys to being the difference. This is episode 40. We've made it to 40 episodes. This is episode 40 entitled Giving Generously. Thanks for joining me. All this week on the Pederscope, I've been talking about money. It's been Money Week. It's been Money Week. It's a little mini money series here on the Pederscope. The very first thing I want to say today about giving generously is that our attitude about it is everything. Now, I'm assuming, let's go ahead, let's back up a step here and just make the connection. Like I said, this is Money Week on the Pederscope, and we're talking about giving generously. So I'm assuming you know that I'm talking about giving financially, giving generously financially, sharing your wealth with other people. That's what we're talking about specifically here today. But like I said, our attitude about it is everything. And now the word generously should kind of take care of that. But I just want to reiterate that when we talk about giving generously, what helps most is looking at it as an opportunity. When you look at giving as an opportunity, it's so much better. It's so much better for your heart. It's better for other people's heart. When you look at it as an obligation or a burden or something that you're going to get in trouble for if you don't do, then we've got problems. It's not a helpful place for you or anybody else. Because really giving is it is such an incredible thing that connects you with other people. It puts you in a place of trust. It puts you in a place of in other people. And well, we don't even really want to do it because of how we might look. Definitely don't want to do it, and how we're going to look in other people's eyes. And I'll share a story that just came to mind about that. I was working for. Let's just keep it general. I don't want to mention any names. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But I was working for an orchestra. I was doing fundraising for a particular orchestra. And I we'd call all day, call all these people that, no, leave me alone, leave me alone. Oh, sure, I'll give $10. And, we'd fight and fight and fight to get people to, give $100 or something like that. But I got a hold of a guy one day, and he was like, oh, yeah, that's right. I remember I wanted to give $5,000. And I was like, what? Am I hearing this correctly? And the story was that basically this guy had been married, and he and his wife were on a plaque at the orchestra hall under a certain. They had given like a huge sum of money to the orchestra, and since they had given and gotten their name on this plaque, he actually had gotten a divorce from this woman. And then he wanted to give a certain amount of money. Sorry, something in my eye here is really irritating me. He wanted to give a certain amount of money to basically get him to the next level, so his name alone would be on a plaque on an upper level, a higher level than where his wife was. Wow. Can you say wow? Talk about just crazy. So that's the sort of the opposite of what we want to be known for, why we want to give. We don't want to give because we want our name on a higher plaque than our ex-spouse or whatever. Oh, crazy stuff. But seriously, giving generously does so much for your soul. It does so much for everybody else. It helps you be connected. Sometimes we wonder how much should we give? That is completely and totally up to you. I've heard religious and non-religious organizations just suggest that 10% of your income is a good benchmark to kind of go from. So that's a good place to start from, just thinking, gauge yourself with that, and then what to give to. What's interesting is people in the first world, obviously I've got a lot of guitars and I'm super blessed and I've got a lot of things, and people in the first world, we compare ourselves to people in the third world, and we say, oh, we've got it so good, we've got all these things we need to give to these poor people. But really, giving is something that is, no matter where you're at in life, no matter if you're in first world, third world, giving is just good for the soul, no matter how much you have. But what to give to? Obviously, if you're in the first world, you give to things that you believe are going to make a difference, because we're talking about keys to being the difference, and we want to make a difference. So we can give to organizations that we believe are making a huge impact in the world and are doing things that we're not able to do. So, for example, there's a charity that I love to give to. It's called Charity Water, and they build wells for people in third world countries who don't have access to clean water. That's something that I believe in very strongly, and I love to give to that. I can't be there and dig the wells for them, but I can give money to help support that effort. So that's how this is a key. When you feel, or when you give, it frees you from attachment to money. When you can freely give as you've been given to, you just trust the flow that will be there. And everyone is a friend of a giver. So an action that you can take here on this fabulous Friday is just to take a quick stock of your financial generous giving. How much do you give? Do you know how much do you give? Do you give? These are great places to start. Check in with those things and feel the freedom of giving. Guys, thanks for joining me on this fabulous Friday on the Pederscope, Keys to Being the Difference. I'm here every weekday morning, 8:35 a.m. If you want to catch up on past Pederscopes, of course, you can find them at stevepederson.com. Of course, this has been Fabulous Friday. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll catch you on the next Pederscope.